What's going on, ladies and DeGents? Welcome back to another fun-filled episode of the Distinguished DeGents podcast, your one of many homes of degenerate gambling. I'm one half of the Distinguished DeGents. My name is Steve Big Bucks Abeta, coming at you with a 3-unit profit from last week. And joining me is my co-host, my partner in gambling, the one, the only, Jason Money Mansman. And Money Mansman sent me a text earlier. Apparently he's got like a lecture. He's got a soapbox rant. But buddy, how are you feeling after last week's first of all, the fucking witching hour? I think we have to kick it off with that.
I had the
We
witching.
went heads up on
I had
games.
the witching day. Yeah, I had the witching day. Bad picks. I had some really bad picks. And I had some of the worst luck you could possibly imagine. I was on the Rams, who literally had a 99.9% chance to win the game and cover, and they lost. And then I had Green Bay, and they were up 10-0 with Josh Jacobs, who inexplicably fumbled. And then they turn the ball over, and then they lose. And that was kind of those two games were the story of my week 3. We were running hot.
Don't forget
and now we're cold.
I was gonna say, don't forget your best bet. Like, I don't know how you're ignoring that. The Atlanta Falcons -5.5 was your best bet. Gets shut out by the Carolina Panthers.
I mean, the funny thing is that game, like, if Atlanta's offense could have done anything, and I'm not saying it was the right side, I'm saying, like, if Atlanta could have done anything, the game would have been like 10-3, would have actually been a close game, even if they lost. Their offense was terrible. I had some, like I said, I was running hot weeks 1 and 2. Gambling has a way of sending you tumbling right back to planet Earth.
And it's gone.
Yeah. There's Money Mansman's money. It's gone.
There's the hot streak is gone.
No, I mean, I'll be honest, like, I almost had a clean sweep on our heads up bets, but the fucking Jets got their own blocked field goal, kick 6. Aaron Glenn dancing on the sidelines with about 2 minutes to go, and I sat there.
For this week, there we go. That's me.
All right, Money Mansman is gone. For those of you listening in, it is now just the guy on the right. Guy on the right. I have one question for you before we get into your soapbox. Let's talk about Thursday Night Football. Seattle 23, Arizona 20. Seattle gets the cover as the flip favorite. Under 43.5. I had so many bets with this over-under. And the missed fucking field goal gets me once again. Albeit, though, the field goal was so late that I think if they did get it, rather than Seattle pushing for the last-second field goal, they probably would have just took a knee. So I think I would have been out either way. Tough break for me. I went from winning like 6 units to like down 3 with that fucking play. Had a 5-leg same-game parlay, under fucking hits. That loses. Okay, here's my question for you, though.
Who drove over here? Let me see your hands. Who took the bus? Did you have fire in your gut?
So for week 4...
I think he needs some fire in his gut, that's for sure. He needs some fire in his gut like I had week 3, catching fire.
Yeah. I thought you would appreciate that. So the fire in your gut, Mansman, from week 3. We're now on to week 4. Like, quick thoughts on this game, and then we'll get to your soapbox rant.
And the soapbox rant will be brief. Just a PSA for everyone. Game was well lined. It was, as I expected, close game. Seattle a little bit better. I actually had another tough beat. I had Marvin Harrison under receiving yards that was looking very good till the fourth quarter. It is what it is. It was sort of a Thursday night chop play just to kind of, throw a couple units out there. But the game went as I expected. I was on the Seattle side. Tough game. I went back and forth because Arizona had lost in a heartbreaking fashion last week. And really, Seattle was probably the better team for most of the game. So good on them. Good win Thursday night on the road.
Yeah, no, Seattle was clearly the better team for 3 quarters. And then I think something happened where, I'll play it one more time. I guess Kyler Murray finally got off
Who
the bus.
drove over here? Let me see your hands.
Not Kyler.
Who took the bus? Did you have fire in your gut?
Yeah, Kyler in that fourth quarter, I thought he was going to get the comeback. I actually thought Arizona was going to steal this one. And then literally, especially after that missed kick, I was like, here we go. Arizona's going to get a bullshit win. They're going to come back, and that's going to be the narrative. The Sharps are going to be right. And lo and behold, Kyler special all over again. And Seattle gets the win. They get the cover. Not a total wash for me, but we're gonna have to make up some units, unfortunately, going into Sunday. But Mansman, you have a PSA, so tell us what's going on, what you discovered earlier this morning.
Yeah, so 2 minutes. On a certain gambling site that is prominent in the East Coast, particularly Maryland, there may or may not be a casino that has a sports book sponsored by this particular gambling site. They have had the local team, the Baltimore Ravens, as a minus 148 money line pretty much the entire day, and it's still the case as it stands now. Playing around, I was doing different variations of certain bets to see, just goofing around, seeing what the odds would be. And this is what I discovered. I don't know if you could pull it up on your end. Look at this. So first off, I don't know why anyone would want to make this particular bet, but listen to, this is why you need to be paying attention. And especially if you're new and don't know what you're doing, please ask someone who has gone and done some gambling before, because this is the type of stuff that is going to result in you just being essentially robbed. So here is the actual bet slip that shows, despite Baltimore being a minus 148 favorite, essentially means if you bet about $15, you get 10 back in return. You bet 150, you get 100 back. If you add another leg and you add Baltimore to not only win, but get over 16.5 points, you would think you need 2 results. Your odds are going to improve. There is a particular sports book out there that is actually making the odds worse. So you can get Baltimore just to win. You bet basically $148 to get 100. Well, if you add a second leg, what this sports book is doing, essentially taking advantage of people who don't know anything, is they're actually making the odds worse. So this bet is a minus 162, meaning you need to pony up another $18, if I did the math correctly. Another $18. You now need to bet $162 to get 100. This is essentially robbery for people who don't know what they're doing, who have never bet sports before. I'm shocked. I've never seen anything like this. I can't believe it's even allowed. So, soapbox over. Moral of the story, if you don't know what you're doing, please ask someone or be careful and don't gamble just because stuff like this is happening. Hopefully this is maybe it was an error or something. I hope it was. But this is ridiculous. You're actually charging people. Essentially, you're charging an ignorance tax, essentially.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chewbacca.
That's all I gotta say. This is literally the dumbest thing ever. And I'll just say, other public sports books, there's multiple ones I've literally double checked. I actually when you sent this to me, I went and put it in myself, and sure as hell, minus 162 was the odds on a game where the money line on its own is minus 150.
Yeah. So basically, the chance Baltimore could win 13-10, and you would lose this bet. But if you just bet Baltimore money line, you would win, and they're essentially charging you money to make this bet. It's unbelievable.
I guess it's the idiot tax. The sports book, they're literally okay, dumbass, you want to do something this stupid? Here you go, pay the extra. Whereas every other book I've gone to, minus 135, minus 130, minus 140 even, I think is a fair especially because that over 16.5 is only I want to say it was minus 800, minus 750. I mean, I went on another book. I did 17.5, and I still got minus 135. So this is literal robbery. Like, they are playing you for a sucker. If you go and make this bet, you're an idiot. And you probably deserve to lose. But we hope you don't do that. We hope you take this lesson that you're getting better odds on just one single leg. Just bet that leg. Don't get like you if you want to get cute, like get cute, but be smart about it at the same time. Like pick something where you're actually
this is only going to take advantage of someone who doesn't know what they're doing. But that's what makes it so sinister, is because this is literally a bet where it's someone who's never done it before, who just like isn't paying attention and thinks that, oh, I'm going to add another leg. I've never seen any book do it. Normally what they've done is if you add something that isn't going to improve the odds, they like won't let you make the bet. They'll just say your odds will not improve, or that
they'll void you. They'll literally gray out the bet.
They won't even let you do it. I've never seen this before where they literally, it's like worse odds to like.
Despicable.
I've never seen that before.
So in honor of that book, we're going to have to switch it up a little bit. So we'll keep the order the same as I had it up, but the odds I'm going to pull from a different book. I will not say who, but we'll just say, that book, you're like, you are thieves for letting people make that bet. And we're not gonna like give you any attention. We're just gonna take our money elsewhere after we steal from you, and then we'll go play somewhere else that won't rob us.
I'm shocked. I can't believe that's a thing.
All right, Mansman. We got 15 games to go through for the Sunday and Monday slate. This is like a gut check week. This is like a heat check for me, considering how well I did last week. Just for the record, after 3 weeks, I've gone 25-23. But for week 3, 11-5 ATS, 10-6 straight up. So good week for me overall. Great comeback week. So this is a heat check for me, man. But what type of week are you anticipating for you? What's your betting strategies?
I'm checking my gut. All right, I'm checking to see that fire is simmering from last weekend, and I don't know. It's weird. I think there's a few opportunities this week. Couple things that we saw in our sort of pre-show betting that kind of stood out. So see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Let's get the show on the road. Right. Let's add the slides in. We're going to start it off. We got the Minnesota Vikings and the Pittsburgh Steelers both traveling to Croke Park in Dublin, Ireland for a 9:30 international start. Vikings 2.5 point favorites, plus 215 or plus 2.5 for the Steelers, plus 120 on the money line, minus 140 for the Vikes. Over under is a total of 41. All right, Money Mansman. I can't remember whose turn it is to go, but do you want to start this one off and tell us what your thoughts are for this first international?
Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. Do you have a super strong opinion on this game? Because if not, I'll go first.
Not a super strong opinion. I do have a side though.
Okay, yeah, me too. Here's what I'll say. This game is a game that's going to be played this weekend. So normally this is a spot. Steelers is an underdog in one of these weird games. This is normally a spot where I feel like Mike Tomlin does pretty well. I don't like some of the stuff I'm hearing. Aaron Rodgers complaining about how they wanted to go to Ireland sooner. They left too late. Yeah. They wanted to get a chance. To me, the Vikings have done this before. Remember, they played the Jets last year against Aaron Rodgers and basically kicked the shit out of the Jets in that game. I learned my lesson last week. I discounted Kevin O'Connell as a coach. My apologies to him. I think the Vikings have done this before. They're ready to go. I'm concerned that the Steelers may be focusing on other things besides this particular game. Aaron Rodgers wants to drink a Guinness and find his heritage. Maybe he will do that after losing to the Vikings. I think it's Vikings minus 2.5 or nothing for me. like I said, not super strong. I just don't like what I'm hearing from the Steelers here.
Yeah, and basically, like the whole nonsense with Aaron Rodgers, they apparently attempted to travel to Dublin on this past Monday, and the NFL basically stepped in and said, "No, you can't do that. You have to fly at the same time as Minnesota, who I think flew in Friday. Like they are one of those teams that, like, when they have to go international, they believe in traveling later rather than earlier. So." That was part of the complaints. I'm not a fan of that either. Minnesota 7-1 straight up against the AFC in their last 8 games. They're 5-1-2 ATS in that stretch. 6-0 ATS in all the games where the totals between 35.5 and 42. Oddly, like, which is a weird stat, but kind of something I noticed. They're 5-0 ATS after they win by 14 points or more under O'Connell. And 6-1 ATS after a game where the turnover margin was 2 or better. So basically, whenever the Vikings have a good game, they tend to keep it rolling, is where I'm getting at with this. And the Steelers, like, let's see that side. 13-24 against the NFC North. Not particularly good. Aaron Rodgers, 0-6 against the NFC since 2024. And this is a spot where, like, I think personal feelings aside and stats aside, this is a spot I think you trust in Brian Flores in this defense again to contain old man Aaron Rodgers that he did the last time when they were overseas in London. And I just trust that side more than I trust Tomlin as a small dog. Considering too, he's actually lost 5 straight as a road underdog, and he went 1-4 ATS there. Like, I don't know, like a lot of sharps, like they love the Tomlin road dog, but this is neutral site. B, he's actually been shit in this spot lately. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think is going to make a difference. If anything, I think it might make it worse. Yeah, give me the Vikes all the way, -2.5. I'm right there with you on this one. And I'm actually on the over in this game, weirdly enough. Basically, big favorite coming in. It's a 40 points. It's going to come down to the wire, I think, in terms of this total. I like the Vikings over more than maybe even the Steelers under bet, but I'm just trusting Flores in this one to keep it together and let Carson Wentz keep it easy.
I would say the Steelers defense, if you look at like the statistics, has not been great. They've been getting a lot of turnovers. Like New England last week, not to cry over spilled milk. New England 5 turnovers, and they still lost by like a touchdown. Like another one of those games where literally Pittsburgh finds a way to win. And also another thing for Minnesota, I think Jordan Addison's coming back, so that should open up their offense a little bit.
Jordan Addison is returning.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'll give you quick numbers. 5 fumble recoveries, 3 interceptions on the year. That puts them first in fumbles and 7th in picks. Their defense, though, they're 26th in yards allowed. They've already allowed 1150 on the year in 3 weeks. 740 of which through the air, 418 on the ground. I mean, that puts them 26th. And they've 11 touchdowns allowed. Like, this is a defense where, like, they get these fluky turnovers, but for the rest of the game, really just doesn't seem to be able to stop the pass whatsoever. And it's Carson Wentz. I think a Carson Wentz special pick 6 could be in the works. Reverse correlation. I would think Steelers touchdown, Vikings win, Vikings cover. That's very possible. But at the same time, like, I don't trust in the Steelers defense to keep it consistent throughout this whole match. Yeah. But I got nothing else on this one.
No, I agree. And Pittsburgh's YPP on defense, they're allowing 5.9 yards per play. So there's really you're not missing anything. And one thing before we move on, sort of an overall point, I'm starting to the point where I'm looking for teams who are sort of overperforming their stats and fading them, and trying to look at teams that like are underperforming their stats and trying to bet on them, because I think eventually it evens out. If you're giving up, you're bottom in the league in yards given up in YPP, and you're 5th in scoring defense, or vice versa, eventually that's going to even itself out.
Roger that. Couldn't agree more with that. We'll go on to the 1:00 games. Picking it up, it's the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're going to the Tampa Bay Bucks at Raymond James Stadium. Eagles -3.5, -200 on the money line. Bucks +165. Home underdog. Over under is 44 points total. Both teams coming off of kick sixes. Both teams coming off of last second wins. God, what's the side here? Like, I think the sharps for this one, the guy on the right, is that they're all over Philly, and maybe for good reason. Because I mean, you talked about like teams who are overperforming versus teams underperforming. Tampa looks like they're running on fumes, if you ask me. They barely got through that New York Jets led team, but that was led by Tyrod Taylor of all guys, and they barely beat the Texans on Monday Night Football the week prior with a comeback. And then week 1, they also had to come back, barely beating the Atlanta Falcons. So you're getting Bucks at 3.5 as a home dog. So you're telling me on neutral site it's under a touchdown against a team where the Bucks are 6-1 straight up since 2015. I hate to do this. I'm going to try and look like a sharp to my own possible detriment. I'm laying the 3.5 with the Eagles as well. Look, the Eagles, for what it's worth, I saw that spark on offense that we've all been dying to see in that third and fourth quarter against the Rams. The fucking Bucks just struggled against what looks like some of the worst offenses in the league. Their defenses were basically keeping it close and then basically relying on Baker Mayfield to come back and win. And the Eagles basically took 25 minutes to tear apart the Rams defense, put belt to ass. And then now I have a Bucks defense that's ranked under the Rams, in my hierarchy. So, especially through the air, the Bucks defense only 19th in the league, giving up passing yards. And the Eagles as a road favorite is a great spot. 4-1 straight up in ATS in their last 5. And, I think the public sentiment is that, like, they always lose to Tampa. They're overdue for a loss. I think they've only lost, like, 2 games in the past year since they last played Tampa. Public dogs have fleas, though. I think this is a game the Bucks get a wake-up call. This is the gut check for the Bucks. They've lost 3 straight as home underdogs. And with it being Philly, like, I'm thinking it's going to be 4. So I'm siding with Philly, possibly to my detriment.
Yeah, no, I mean, buddy, I think I learned my lesson last week. Like, I had the Eagles. They were my fade of the week last week. I got burned in the most ridiculous fucking way possible. I think the betting gods told me that I can't go against the Eagles anymore, that they're going to find a way to beat me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spit in the betting god's face, and I'm going to make the Philadelphia Eagles my fade of the week again. Give me the Tampa Bay Bucks
Are you
plus 3.5.
Are you fucking serious?
Again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. You mentioned all the.
What are you doing?
You mentioned all the Barney stuff already, which I think is relevant. I mean, there does seem to be something with when this Eagles team plays Tampa. Saquon Barkley struggles. For whatever reason, Todd Bowles gives them fits. And remember that this Eagles team does not look like the same Eagles team that we were dealing with for the past, 2 years, especially not last year. This defense is different. They're not as good as they were last year. They got not 1, 2 field goal blocks to win that game last week. Putting that aside, though, here's the sort of sharp angle to this. If you look at the underlying numbers, these teams metrically are pretty similar in statistics. Like, it's not like the Eagles are coming in, their offense is significantly better, their defense is significantly better, and it's just, the Bucs always play them well. These are pretty, even teams statistically. And if you look at the Eagles, their Kansas City win doesn't look as great. I mean, Kansas City's 1-2. They didn't look wonderful Sunday night. They beat the Cowboys, who have Jason Mansman playing defense, so they're not that good. I think these are pretty even teams, and I'm getting a team field goal and a hook at home with You couple that with the Barney stuff, yeah. I mean, I think this line's way too high. I think you smash Bucks 3.5.
I think the Barney side is the Bucks, though. Like that's kind of my angle. Also, do you think the Bucks and the Eagles are even teams without Mike Evans? Like that's a big factor I didn't even talk about. But Mike Evans is going to be out for this game. It's Amika Ibuka and like nobody.
Chris Godwin's back, which maybe slightly less, slightly more than nobody. Slightly.
All right, so basically betting slips, according to what I see, slips are 51% towards the Bucks, but the money is on Philadelphia Eagles at 54%. So I mean, it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a close one. The sharps on the podcast I listen to like the Bucks. Although I will say I was on the Bucks like from the begin with when I saw this line. The Eagles are the types of teams I always like to fade. They're coming off a miracle win at home against a team that they don't like. This is the letdown spot for them.
And the Bucks are also coming off of a last second win against a team they could give two shits about at home at the last second.
Look ahead spot, buddy. Look ahead spot. Now I hear what you're saying. To this game, this game. No, look, I get what you're saying. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't know if Tampa's going to win, 33-12 again. But I do think the Bucks. Yeah. I think the Bucks will probably. If I had to guess, I think they'll win outright, and I think they're definitely going to cover.
Is this your square ball bet of the week, or are you?
It's going to get worse.
Later.
I got.
Okay, I'll hold off. All right.
Yeah.
Money Manson's fade of the week. He's going with the Bucks plus 3.5. All right, moving on. We're going to Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, a.k.a. Mansman's Mecca. It's the Buffalo Bills hosting the New Orleans Saints as 15.5-point favorites, minus 1,400 on the money line. Saints are 8.5-point road, non-conference road dogs at that. Over-under is 48 total. Money Mansman, it's your team. I'm going to give you the honors.
The Bills make me wanna kick your heels up and throw your hands up and throw your head back.
I don't have too much for this one, honestly. I don't love this line because we know, especially now, the Bills are the type of team that, like, in the fourth quarter, Mitch Trubisky will come out there and they'll, they could give up like a backdoor. I think this one you got to play Bills or nothing. Saints coming back-to-back road spot, going to Buffalo where the Bills, I think they're 2 away from the record of most consecutive home victories. Josh Allen's great at home. Basically, they got like pretty much a top 5 offense, like in everything. The top 5 in passing, the top 5 in rushing. The Saints, I think the only concern you have, like where you could maybe make a case for the Saints, they got embarrassed last week. Do they come out fired up? But like the Bills have the rest advantage. Kamara maybe is going to be able to run a little. That's the weakness of the Bills defense. Honestly, the Bills pass defense has really not been horrendous yet.
I mean, is that the only weakness this Bills defense has? I mean, they look. I think this is the worst version of the Bills defense I think I've ever seen under Sean McDermott.
No, I think they were probably worse last year. The big problem they have is they can't go off the field third down, and that was a problem they had last year. And in the Miami game, they literally shut Miami down till third down, and then they converted every third down. It was like 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12. Convert. So, the Bills' defense isn't good. You can make the case. I can't fault you if you go with the Saints. I just think, like, maybe Miami, you could talk yourself into their backs were against the wall. They had everything to play for. Short week. They kept it close. I just don't I don't know. It's like probably one of the 3 best teams in the league against the worst. It's like Bills or nothing. I want no part of 15.5 because this could be, 34 to, 34-10 very easily this game.
Yeah. So basically, one of the podcasts I listen to, the SGPN podcast, they have something called the Close Your Eye Special. But for the sake of our show, like I don't want to totally steal that moniker. So I'm gonna, in honor of your old man, I'm gonna call it the Ronald Special. The Ronald Special, basically, a team loses by 20, or sorry, underperforms the spread by 20 or more, and they're catching points the week after. It's the Ronald Special. Ronald Special here, 2-0 ATS last week, where the Jets, they did blow the 2-minute drill after that kick six, but they were damn near 2 minutes away from having a 2-0 straight up. And the Saints are like the biggest special this year already. It was 17.5. It's now down to 15.5. They're in a back-to-back road spot in Buffalo. So the thing is, though, Buffalo's really good at beating the NFC. Bills are 12-2 straight up, but they're only 7-6-1 ATS. In their last 8, they went 2-5-1 ATS. This is the only game trend I think that matters, though. It's Spencer Rattler. He's covered once as an underdog. And that was 14.5 points to Tampa. They lost 27-19. I don't even know if I tell you to tease this game, like put this in a teaser, because like this is a Bills special where the Bills could fucking come around and like they'll let the Saints hang close or have 2 scores with 2 minutes to go. They'll let them drive and they'll literally let them kill clock, contain defense, and let Spencer score a touchdown, and then the cover's blown. I could very easily see that happening. I'm with you, though. This is the only way you look at it. Bet your mortgage on the Bills or have nothing to do with it. I want nothing to do with it. I'm not betting this. I don't even know. I think I have the Bills money line in a 4-legger that I did for shit. And I literally threw them in as like a 5th kicker. Barely boosted my odds, but you know what? Like, why the hell not? It's a 5-leg parlay. Like, I take that risk inherently as it is. But
yeah, the one thing I would the one thing I'd warn people is sometimes the Bills, these are the types of games where their defense looks good. They play a shit team, and like the Jets. Remember the Jets game? These are the types of games where sometimes their defense plays well. It's really the Bills are not as good against good teams that can run the ball. Like a Ravens, a Colts, those types of teams with good running backs. So yeah, I bet the Saints at your own peril.
And I don't even got nothing on this total either. Like, I mean, the total's so high that like I want to pick the under. Non-conference game, Bills at home, big favorite. Like, is this a game they get up 35-0 and then it ends 41-10? Does it end 41-3? Something weird.
It's just hard because you're gonna like even my thinking would be Saints team total under, but what are you gonna get it at based on the number? You know, 13.
I mean, we could look it up. We have the technology. We could do this.
Okay, why don't you introduce the next game, and then I'll just say what it is after that. Looks like it's 60. Oh, okay, I found it.
You got it, buddy.
16.5. 16.5.
That's tempting. That's a tempting play. Moving on, though, we're going to Detroit, Ford Field. It's the Lions. They are -10 favorites. They're hosting the AFC Cleveland Browns, who are 4-1 underdogs, +10 on the spread. Over-under is 44.5. Kickoff 1 o'clock in a dome. Joe Flacco getting another start over Shador Sanders as apparently the headlines in Cleveland. Why? I don't know. I could do without either quarterback, but yeah, Mansman, this is another weird spot, I think. Is this like, I mean, just a spoiler, is this another Lions or nothing bet, or do you have like a sharp side you can give?
Oh, okay. You don't want to go first for this one?
I thought, I guess I will. Fine.
Well, I went first for the Bills, so that's why.
Yeah, I know. Okay, look, here you go. AFC non-conference road underdogs. This year alone, 1-3 ATS, 0-4 straight up. That one cover was last week with the Jets. And Detroit's one of the best ATS teams with Dan Campbell as their head coach. And Joe Flacco's getting another week starting at quarterback. So, like, I mean, what about the non-conference shit? Lions 8-3 ATS, 9-2 straight up with Dan Campbell. And and historically, Detroit is 12-1 against the Browns at home. I should make this my best bet. I'm not going to. I think with the number climbing the way it has, that might be my reason. But this is definitely potential contest play. Detroit -10. I think you can get it at 8.5, like 7.5, maybe in contest, depending on where you are. But the Detroit smash spot for me. Cleveland sucks, and Cleveland sucks even worse on the road. They're no good.
This is my Barney Bester, my best bet, Detroit Lions. Minus really whatever. Like you said, we've seen this a lot of times before. Cleveland's defense, they play well, and then they go on the road and they're shit. And the Lions, I just see this. Cleveland won a miraculous game last week. They're going on the road. They did what they needed to do. There's no need to go any further. This is a Lions smash spot. I think the Lions are going to win by a lot. And honestly, it would not surprise me. I actually went for the Joe Flacco under passing yards in this game as well. It's a bet I like. It wouldn't surprise me. We see Dylan Gabriel at some point in this game.
Do we get Dylan Gabriel first, or do we get Shador?
I mean, Dylan Gabriel came in first before, and he had thrown a touchdown pass, so I don't know why Shador would go
God, that's
first.
crazy. 225.5 for Joe Flacco.
And I think that would be more than he threw, like the last 2 weeks?
I'm pretty sure that's more all year. I think
there's a chance Joe Flacco, you don't see him the whole game. So, like I said, I think Detroit wins this game for fun.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily they do it for fun. This is the kind of game where like they'll run up the score. That's a Dan Campbell thing. Like they're not going to play for threes. They're literally going to take like every chance for a touchdown they'll get till the clock hits 0. They will not. This is a game they will not stop. And this is like 50. This is 50-6 written all over it. Week 1, Flacco threw for 290. He's been under 200 ever since.
Yeah.
And you're getting an extra 25.5. I love the under. I'm going to jot that down.
Yeah. And I like the over here because I could see this game feels to me like fourth quarter is going to be high scoring. High scoring fourth quarter with Baggio.
This was, again, almost my best bet. Almost my over of the week, too. I really, really love the over. And it's the Detroit Lions against the AFC at home. I want to say, like, I could try to pop it real quick, but wanted to say it was like 60 or 70% have hit the over. Let's go since 23. What was the last 10? I'm trying to pop that up. Yeah, it was like 4 of the last 5, and then let me see. Here we go. There it is. It's been since 21. Yeah, 60% on the over, but in the last the last 2 years, it's been like 4 out of 5. So really love the over here. And again, I think this is a number the Lions will get it on their own.
Could be.
Yeah, nothing else to say. That's a nice little 3-legger right there. Lions -10, over 44.5. Flacco under 222.5. That could be a fun little 3-legger right there, just on its own.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. Moving on. It's the Houston Texans. Oh, God, it's the Texans. Laying 7 at home against the Tennessee Titans. Plus 300 on the money line, minus 380 for the Texans. At home, over unders 39.5. I think it's your go, Mansman. Why the fuck are the Texans laying 7? Can you answer that question first and foremost?
Because the Tennessee Titans are really bad. That's why. They're really bad. They have the worst coach in football. Though D'Amico Ryans isn't looking like a great coach now. Here's my play on this game. I think I know where you're going. I know Tennessee's bad. We watched that Texans game last week. The Texans'
Yeah, we
offense
did.
is horrible. They are terrible. I thought last week was their line in the sand. Maybe this week's going to be the. I just can't. I just can't get there. I can't get to Houston -7. So that means I have to go with Tennessee plus the points because this Houston team is really bad. I don't think the league has caught up yet. I think they're still thinking like they were the preseason favorites to win the division. CJ Stroud is like a shell of himself. Their offensive line is horrendous. Their running game is non-existent. Their receivers consist of Nico Collins and nobody. Like, they're terrible too. Terrible game. Shit game of the week. Probably a donkey play, but I got to go Tennessee here. There's no other way around it.
I guess we're going double Donko this week. This is my fade of the week. I'm going Titans +7, and I'm making this a 2-unit play. This is so fucking absurd. Listen to this shit. Both the Texans and the Titans have lost 3 in a row. Only one of those teams, though, have failed to cover 3 straight, technically, because the Titans week 1 was like a 7.5, 8.5 flip, so depending on where you got that number, could be 3 in a row. This is like, to me, this is the very first battle of the auto fades. So this is my fade of the week for that reason and that reason alone. But go to the flow chart. Houston has lost 5 of their last 6 against the Titans. Coach Callahan, who is now 3-17 in his career, straight up in ATS. One of those wins and covers was last year against Houston in this spot. And the Texans, on the other hand, like you said, they cannot seem to get it together. It's been 3 weeks of shit offense. Cam Ward, like, I think for as bad as this Titans team is coming out of like one of his best performing games last week, despite running into the Indianapolis Colts. Like, I think the theme is like gut check, heat check this week. I think the Titans game for the Colts was more of a heat check, but they kept it together. They got a good win. And I got to be honest with you, my bigger concern here is, can Houston's offense score more than 20? The Titans actually covered 8 against a Denver defense who was probably more comparable to this team in terms of defense, but the difference is Bo Nix kind of looks like an actual NFL quarterback, which, a quarterback, CJ Stroud, is a player on the team who commands the offense and actually throws the ball more than 4 yards out. I honestly might consider, I think I'm playing Tennessee money line as a small half unit bet too. Like, this Texans team, they are so bad right now. And by the way, CJ Stroud as a quarterback has only ever covered this number once as a favorite. He covered last year against Miami. And, you look last year, ATS at home, they went 2-5. They're now like 2-6, considering they lost to the Bucks. But they did go 5-2 straight up. So, like, I don't know if this is a game like the Texans do pull it out their ass and win, but they're just, I do not see a world where this Texans team is going to cover a 7 right now. Maybe we get a push. I really don't know. There's a real possibility this Texans offense is like that bad. And I don't know if it's because they don't have Joe Mixon. I don't know if it's this new offensive coordinator, Nick Caley, who, looking at his resume, was a fucking tight ends coach and a passing coordinator for the Rams, which, if you look at the Rams last year, it might make a lot of sense of why Matt Stafford looked like shit. How can you move the ball around again when you throw behind the line of scrimmage, when you throw 2 to 3 yards at a time? If you're one of these people that likes Houston, I beg you to put this in a teaser or just do a money line parlay if you dare. But it's not going to be me. I'm actually like, Titans are a very live round robin contender for an underdog round robin. Love the Titan spot here. Like, I think they keep this one close at the very least. There's a chance they could win.
Yeah. My last point on this game, I guess this is an under because both of these offenses are probably going to struggle, even though the number is like ridiculously low. Here's what I'll say: the regression of CJ Stroud is shocking. Like, this was a guy who, God, like a couple of years ago, looked like he was going to be the next young quarterback. And he has bad offensive line, bad receivers, no weapons. I mean, this guy has just flamed out. Like, he's horrible. he's terrible.
Yeah. I'm actually going over in this one. By the way, just so you know, the Titans have won a home game under Callahan, but they did not cover that game. So they are 0-10 ATS at home. Oh, wait, that's at home. Titans are on the road. So I'd have to.
Yeah. It's probably for the best.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, that's what they're 3-7 on the road under Callahan, and yeah, they've won.
Someone should tell Brian Callahan they're playing at home. I'd like my bet better. Hey, coach, we're playing at home this week. He'll show up to the stadium. No one's there.
Yeah, Titans on the road. They're 7-3 under Callahan on the over. So, and especially with it being so low, like I said, like this could be a game the Texans offense does find a miracle wake up spot, or they do one driving at 7, and then the Titans get 31. Who the fuck knows with this game? I'm kind of done. I've already made my pick. It's a 2-unit play. Titans +7. I love it. All right, next up, we're going to MetLife Stadium in fucking Jersey. It's the New York Giants. 0-3. Russell Wilson, night dipshit. You are gone. They are hosting the LA Chargers with new quarterback Jackson Dart, catching 6.5 at home, +250 on the money line. Chargers -310. Over under is 43.5 points. Yeah. Do you want to bet on Jackson Dart, Mansman? I'm not there. Here's my take. You ready? Fade the rookie quarterback debut. Since 2016, 3-12-1 straight up. And Jim Harbaugh against rookie quarterbacks as a Chargers coach, 4-0 ATS. Since the year of our Lord, 2024, the Giants have only won twice at home. And they covered 3 out of those 11 games. We're getting Chargers under a touchdown. This is a joke. I don't know if this is Dart getting too much. Literally, think about it. The line hasn't moved. Russell Wilson got benched for a rookie, not Jameis. He got benched for a rookie. The line didn't move. It was just like, oh, fuck it, whatever. And they're raving about Cam Scattaboo. Like, he's going to get CTE by week 6. I swear. Cam CTE Scattaboo. Scatta night dipshit. There you go. That's my handicap. No Najee, no problem. This is a Charger smash spot. I don't care. Like, this is a joke.
So here's what I'll say about
Go ahead, guy on the right.
Here's what I'll say about this one. This is one where it's like, pre-Harbaugh, you looked at this game. This was like your dog of the week, Giants, because the Chargers would find a way to charge you this game. They come out flat. They'd miss like 3 field goals. They turn the ball over 4 times. And the Giants would get a miraculous win. I know there are people, I think people are kind of concerned because they're like, oh, Dart's going to give the Giants fans a boost and it's going to give the team a boost. But you know what it's not going to do? It's not going to create an offensive line. It's not going to create a good coach. I told you Brian Daboll was shit. I told you. All of that, Brian Daboll made Josh Allen. We're waiting for the apology in Orchard Park. This is a Chargers spot or nothing. Harbaugh, the defense is too good. They're too professional. They're playing too well. What are the Giants good at? Like, what are they gonna beat the Chargers? I just think the Chargers are better.
You know what they're good at? They're good at remembering that they have a Super Bowl against Tom Brady. That's about it.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. It's just hard because, again, it's another professional coach where if it was someone else, I'd say maybe this is a flat spot for the Chargers. Giants are up. I just think the Giants are so bad. To me, this feels like the sacrifice game to kind of low pressure, get Dart in there. He can make some mistakes. And the next week, the Giants Super Bowl, the toilet bowl against the Saints in New Orleans. So that really feels like the game that they're shooting for. So
if this was Brandon Staley at head coach, real quick, if this was Brandon Staley, it would be a Giant smash spot all day. I will be like, Brandon Staley will find a way to. Brandon Staley would fuck up a wet dream. That's how bad he was. But no, Jim Harbaugh, back him, trust him. I hate to say it, Chargers are going to go 4-0. And in terms of over-under, I got under 43.5. I just think, I don't think that, I think the Chargers might sleepwalk this game. And that's my concern. Like, they seem to have sleptwalk against Denver, and they then pulled it out of their ass to get that win. I'm wondering if they go to New York and they just sleepwalk in that game too. But I'm just trusting the coach here. I'm trusting the coaching. I like the quarterback more. I hate to say that I like the Chargers organization as a whole more than I like the Giants, but they seem to be on the up and up compared to the fucking Giants right now. Like they just seem to be like tank for dart, I guess. But
look, you got a professional coach. You got a professional coach. He's bringing professionalism to the team. And yeah, I mean, I agree with you. This just feels like a game where, I mean, I don't know, maybe Herbert could just throw it well. I just think the Giants are going to get out physical. I think Dart's going to run for his life on offense, and on defense, they're just going to get pushed around. So I agree. Next.
Damn, we're actually, it's a lot. It's unlike last week. We're on the same page for the most part. So far, I think we only went heads up on one game.
Yeah.
I think so.
Big game to go heads up.
Jotting these down as well. Yeah. All right. Next up, it's the Atlanta Falcons. They are minus 2-point favorites now, minus 130. So the line is flipped in the opposite direction. They are hosting the Washington Commies, a.k.a. the Commanders, a.k.a. the football team, a.k.a.
Washington Redskins, go yourself.
They're plus 110 on the money line now. Over-under is 43.5. Mansman, believe it's your go. No Daniels, no Terry, Scary McLaurin. Does the line flip make sense to you, or is this like another Chewbacca line? Like, what are we looking at here? What is going on?
Yeah, that's funny because that's what I was going to ask you. Ready? Here's what I did in this game, right? So in our little sleeper contest, there's 5.5 points of line value because when the line locked, it was Falcons plus 3.5 at home. So now it's -2. I got line value. There you go. There. That's what I have on this game. Do I like the Falcons? No. Would I bet them at -2? No. I don't really know if I want to bet Washington either, though. What scares me is Atlanta just got like rocked, and it feels like a spot where the Falcons return home after getting a butt whooping and they put forward their best effort. I mean, I was actually kind of high on them before last week. They kicked me right in the man part. Am I biased? Yes. I don't know what to make of this game. I thought the Falcons' defense was good. They may still be. They gave up 30 points last week. That wasn't very good. I just don't. I don't like Penix getting benched. I mean, if he has a bad first half, are they going to bring Kirk Cousins back in again? Like, for me, this game.
Please give us.
For me, this game. Here's my play. No play. I don't know what to make of this game.
We'll go back up just one more time for the people. Yeah, this is contender for shit game of the week. This could be real bad. Here's why I think that the Sharps will probably be all over the Falcons here. Technically, it was a Ronald special, but now they're a favorite, so it technically doesn't apply now. Washington's won 4 straight against Atlanta, including last year's Sunday Night Football overtime thriller, where Penix did play, and now's the time where, like, I think if I was going to bet Washington, I would do it, because I would, like, my original thinking was, with the injuries and everything, I want this at a pick'em, and then maybe I'll go with Washington. Well, now I'm getting 2, but now I don't know if I want to back Mariota on the road, now without Terry McLaurin, and just on line value alone, like, I don't know if Mariota is a 3-point deficit to this Falcons team or not. I don't know if you consider the Commanders have won 5 of their last 6 against the NFC East. This is my play, and it's a gut feeling. This is my under of the week. I'm going under 43.5. That's my play.
I could get behind that.
I don't know what Washington is going to be able to do on offense. Falcons defense is like, to be fair, last week against the Panthers, the Falcons defense just couldn't get off the field. It wasn't like the biggest mollywhopping in the world, but that offense was just so petrified that it ended up being 30-0. It really didn't. It felt like for most of that game, the Falcons had a chance. Kind of like you said, if they had any semblance of offense, this was a 10-3 game. But they could never do it. Atlanta, the 2 weeks prior, they played close. It wasn't like they were that bad on defense. I think they're middle of the road statistically or slightly better. But, I mean, for this Washington team, I think it's going to be stop the run. And I think that's one thing Atlanta is going to be able to do. And if you make Marcus Mariota throw, I wonder if that's going to lead to mistakes. He doesn't really seem to have any connection with Deebo Samuel yet. He didn't really have a good game. Like the bounce back spot for Atlanta, but for the contest, I may have to change it, unfortunately, like you did to Atlanta. But I liked Washington originally, and I'm just going to stick with it. But I really like the under here, and not to mention if Penix is really bad, like we think, we could see Kirk again. Especially if Mariota does do well. Like, if this is another repeat, he could get benched. So, I'm going under the week, under 43.5. And last stat, too. I think Mariota will be facing an upgraded defense. And these Falcon games against the NFC East, they pretty much gone to the under. I think in 6 of the last 7 have hit the under. So, I expect this trend to continue just because of the spot. I got nothing else. Mansman, anything for you?
No, I think we covered it. Moving on.
It's the other shit game contender of the week. It's the New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts. 5.5-point favorites against the 30-0 winning Carolina Panthers, who are plus 205 on the money line. The over/under is at 43. Last 1:00 game on the slate. Mansman, Carolina Panthers are 5.5-point dog. This is my potential donkey play of the week. I'm backing Bryce Young as a non-conference dog. I'm backing Bryce Young on the road. Let's start with that. He's
get back on the train, man. He got you a bet last week. Back on the train.
I'm back on the train with the points. Let me be clear. This is not like a Tennessee spot where I'm like, they could win this game. I'm not there in this spot, but like, why is Drake May getting 5.5 points ever? Drake May is 2-6 at home. The Patriots have not covered 5 straight as a home favorite. They lost 4 of them outright. And this number is telling me that Carolina's essentially, like, if you really think about what this line means, they're either going to lose by 2 field goals, which is 3 possessions, or they're going to lose by a touchdown. And 3 with the back and forth, not like 3 on the other side. Like, this is 3 back and forth. New England has not even maintained a lead at home all season. And if you rewind to our week 1 episode, I'm going to do a repeat impression. Ready? Bryce Young has not won a road game against the AFC ever. This, to me, the difference is Drake May. I'm asking him to prove me wrong. This is a prove me wrong spot. This is the gut check for Carolina, really. Okay, Carolina, are you really a contender still? Cover this number. Don't worry about winning. Just cover this number. Because I'm not going to ask Drake May to do it. Like, I don't want to be on the flip side of this. Drake May has not won a game by this spread, I think, except for once when he beat the Bears 19-3. But they were 6.5-point road underdogs in that spot. Now you're a home favorite. I don't know. Like, I'm not laying money on this spot for New England. Like, I'd rather back Carolina. That's why I'm picking them. But Could be a donk. Like I said, this could be Donko play.
Yeah, we found our second game where we're going heads up, but I can't fault you. It's not a strong play. Here's why I'm going with New England. The thinking is sort of taking the phoniness, and I will say, boy, I really didn't like the line. I was with you. I was like, geez, really? New England's a 5.5-point favorite in this game? I think it's because people are still tethered to the fact that, oh, yeah, New England's going to be decent this year. I think they're going to be below decent. I think Carolina is below decent as well. My thing is, I think phoniness last week. You look at the Patriots, they lost to the Steelers, 5 turnovers. I think pretty much the New England Patriots game, it felt like New England was like, we would look and you would think like, oh boy, New England's winning this game. And they just like, the Steelers jump out to an early lead. It seemed like New England was winning the whole game, but they weren't, and then the game ended. Carolina, on the other hand, again, they won 30-0. But did they really win 30-0? I mean, that game, Atlanta had so many chances that they couldn't do anything with. I don't know. Do I want to back Carolina on the road, coming off a big, fat win where they beat a division rival 30-0? No, this feels like a letdown spot. This feels like everybody jumps back on the Carolina train and all the sharps throw money at Carolina, only to watch it go up in smoke when New England wins the game by 7. So I go with New England, but no strong feeling on it.
Yeah, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not sold on. I'm just not sold one way or the other. And when in doubt, take the points. That's this play. When in doubt, I'm taking the points. I'm taking Carolina plus 5.5. Any over/under feelings on this one, or are you ready to move on?
I think slightly into the under. Although a sneaky one might be Bryce Young over passing yards, just because I could see him maybe throwing the ball a little bit late to try to catch up. But I do think New England's going to get the best of this one, assuming they don't fumble the ball 4 times again.
205.5.
Give it a look.
I'd consider it. All right, moving on. We're into the 4:00 slate finally. Hour in. It's the LA Rams at SoFi Stadium, coming off that tough loss against Philadelphia with that kick 6. They're laying 3.5 against the Indianapolis Colts. We're coming off their win against the Tennessee Titans, 3.5-point home road dog, non-conference road dogs, plus 160 on the money line for the Colts, minus 190 for the Rams. Over under is probably, I think it's the biggest one on the week, 49.5 points. Monty Mansman, I believe it is your go. Give us your take. This is supposed to be a good game, but hard read one way or the other. So what are your thoughts?
I got to say, for me, this one was sort of my second potential for fade of the week. I've been waiting for the spot to fade Indianapolis, and this is the spot to fade them. They have not been good as underdogs against the NFC. I think it's now 9 straight they've lost, 6 straight that they haven't covered as underdogs against the NFC. And just in terms of spot plays, this is a very nice, juicy spot play. The Rams had the game won against the Eagles, and they blew it in really miraculous fashion. I think you're going to get a pissed off Rams team. And the Colts are getting a big step up in class after beating up on Tennessee last week. They beat up on Tennessee last week. They beat Houston, who turned out to be not that good, right? I think it was Houston week 1 they beat, who ended up being total shit now. I think this is a big step up in class, and I think today is the day where Indiana Jones finally hits the buzzsaw. This is a different type of team. I still think the Rams are good. They lost a heartbreaking game last week. You're going to get a pissed-off Rams team at home, raring to go. I think the Rams cover this number and potentially win this one going away.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And Yeah, this was almost your fade of the week.
Killer whale, orca!
My best bet of the week. Rams minus 10.5. Rams are 6-3 in this spot, hosting an AFC team since 2022. They covered earlier in the year against Houston. And I think it was week 1. And now you're getting Indy, they're hot off their 3-game win streak, but they beat, let's see who they beat. It was Miami week 1. Turns out they're shit.
Nice.
They beat Denver week 2 off that fucking penalty where they dove on the fucking center. Tough win, I would say. Tougher loss. And then they beat Tennessee. It's not exactly the cream of the crop. The Rams, I think, even after that Eagles game, they're still a top 10 NFL team, despite the way they lost. For what it's worth, like you said, the Rams 4 straight in head-to-head, or I don't think he says, Rams have won 4 straight against the Colts in head-to-head matchups. The Colts have actually lost 7 of their last 8 as non-conference road teams. They're 2-6 ATS in that run. They haven't covered 4 straight. This Rams rush defense might actually stack up well against the Colts and stop Jonathan Taylor. Considering that they held Saquon to under 50. And if they come into this game, like you said, pissed off, really annoyed at how they lost, they're coming in with the mindset of like, let Daniel Jones beat us with his arm. Which, don't get me wrong, Jalen Hurts proved he could do that. But I think that's Jalen Hurts. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. It's possible Indiana Jones could do it, but he's not good in this spot either. He's 2-8 against NFC West teams. Did beat Seattle though earlier, I think last year. But this is like a trap line for Colts plus 3.5 because I think like Barney's out there. They're like, well, we're getting the Colts over a field goal, and if this game is close, like we'll get the cover. But I don't think they're really thinking about this team of like who's going to win. Like I think the Rams. Like I hate to say like it's going to be close, but I think the Rams are going to maintain control of this game from start to finish. I do not see a point where the Rams will relinquish. They won't relinquish the score. I think they'll always maintain the lead. It'll get scary a couple times. Matt Stafford will definitely throw a pick at some point, but I don't know. Like Rams also off a loss. They're 15-12-3 ATS under Sean McVay. So not perfect, but it is a team I do want to consider coming, especially after that tough loss. Like I really want to get the Rams here.
One point to add, because it's smart what you said. They blew that game last week. The one thing you're not going to have to worry about in this game is a bullshit backdoor cover, I don't think, because I think the Rams are going to be more so like if they're up 10, trying to put an exclamation point on the game and put it away. They're not going to want to let the Colts hang around and have another last-second loss like they did last week.
Yep, I could not 100% agree more. And by the way, just real quick stat: AFC non-conference road teams 1-4 straight up, 2-3 ATS on the year. Non-conference road dogs 3-5 straight up, 4-4 ATS. So you're looking, like I said, I think you're Barney thinking if you're a Colts better. You're betting that they hang around to get to 3. I don't think there's a world you're looking at this and you're thinking Colts will win and beat the Rams. I think, I don't want to say Colts are the fraud team, but like Daniel Jones regression should be incoming anytime soon. And this is the heat check game. All right. Next game. 49ers. God, I think Brock Purdy's quarterback. It might be Mac. I really haven't figured that out yet. But the Niners are laying 3.5, hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars and Cinderella, a.k.a. Trevor Lawrence, plus 155 on the money line for the Jags. As a non-conference road dog as well. Minus 185 for the Niners. Over-under is 46.5 points. I believe it is my go once again. So, yeah, here we go. The Jags have lost 5 straight against the San Francisco 49ers since 2009. You know, but let's look more into the current times. Let's look at more recently. Trevor Lawrence. Since the Jags have drafted Trevor Lawrence, the Jags are 5-16 against the NFC. And Trevor Lawrence, as the starting quarterback in those games, he went 4-14. The Jags are 2-8 ATS as a non-conference road team since they drafted Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has a 1-8 ATS record against the NFC on the road. And as non-conference road underdogs, the Jags are a measly 2-6 ATS, 1-7 straight up. Yet I hear that money and the bets, I have to triple check this with a certain sports book, but certain sharps out there are saying, let's bet the Jags. Let's run and go to the Jags ticket counter. Yep, 55% of the bets, 64% of the money. Let's run and bet the Jags. Let's bet on Trevor Lawrence and Cinderella with a shithead coach. Let's look at who they played. They played a lot of close football. Like, I will give them that. I mean, so have the Niners, and maybe that's the angle, but even with Mac Jones, they've only won by 4, 5, and 1 in the first 3 weeks of football. They against Seattle, New Orleans, and Arizona, which, again, also not cream of the crop, but the Jags barely beat the Texans last week. They beat Carolina, and that's right, they lost to Cincy's backup. One more, you lose to fucking Cincy's backup.
Blowing a big lead.
Yeah, one more fun stat. Jags defense in non-conference games, they give up on average 33 points to opposing teams. I bet on over 26.5 for San Fran at plus money. Do with that what you will. I really like the Niners here. I think they're being way undervalued. This has hit in like 5 or 6 straight games for the Jags in non-conference road spots. The over. I really love the over in this game as well. Not my over of the week, but I really like Niners over in this play. Mansman, I think you may have a differing opinion. I'm interested to get your take, but boy, oh boy, why are the Sharps all over the Jags here?
Couple reasons, I think. Number one, San Francisco's been playing, really both teams have been playing close football for the most part. Number two, I think Brock Purdy coming back has probably inflated the number because I think he's going to come back. And may have a rusty game, kind of a comeback game to sort of get right. San Francisco 3-0. Maybe this is a spot where it's not immediately urgent for them to get a win. Jacksonville's defense has been good stopping the run, which could force Purdy to essentially have to come back and be the hero. I don't know. To me, this game jumped out as one that is probably going to be close. And I think, I could see like San Francisco winning this game on like a last second field goal, or like Jacksonville getting a field goal block to lose the game or something. I don't know. This is just, I don't really have a good reason because I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to go up and down the field this game. Like, I think there's going to be some troubles passing the ball, but I could just see there being San Francisco's offense kind of being ho-hum, Jacksonville running the ball, having to settle for 3, getting stopped on 4th down. I actually think this is probably going to be like an under game because I just see this being like a weird 20-17 type game. 21-17, I could very well lose. I think it's going to be a close game. I just got a weird feeling about Jacksonville, and it was kind of like a gut play. Like, I don't know. There's just something about Jacksonville in this spot. Maybe it's the Sharps. I don't know. It feels like a weird spot where something unexpected happens, and you look back and you're like, oh, wow, I can't believe Jacksonville didn't lose by that much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a 30 score barn burner, but I mean, 7 points, 1 touchdown. I get this cover. I think this is going to be a real test for the Jags defense. Like, I think this is, oddly enough, like with the injuries, this might be the hardest offense that this defense has gone up against.
Step up, yeah.
Big concern for me, which is another reason. And favorites, man, favorites have just been hitting this year. Kind of rolling over from last year. Favorites have been a big hit. I'm backing that trend as well.
How'd that work out last week?
I mean, good for me.
Good for the favorites that I didn't bet on.
Yeah, I mean, I bet on a lot of favorites, and most of them came through.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bills came through. That's as far as what we care. All right. Next up, it's the Fox or CBS game of the week, I would say. CBS game of the week. It's the Baltimore Ravens, 1-2, traveling on the road, coming off their Monday Night Football loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, also 1-2, at Arrowhead Stadium. Chiefs are 2.5-point home underdogs, plus 125. Ravens minus 150. 48.5 is the total. Mansman, Jesus Christ. Both teams have fucked me in the past recently.
Yeah, I have to say, I was shocked that Baltimore lost that game Monday night.
Yeah, they didn't just lose.
Crazy.
They didn't just lose. They got fucking dog walked by Dan Campbell. I mean, that was the biggest shock for me. I think it was just how bad they lost. It wasn't that they lost. God,
I guess I could start.
Kick this one off for me.
Tough game. Baltimore. I mean, you want to talk about Buffalo's defense sucking? Baltimore's defense might be worse. I mean, they're terrible. I mean, they got, like you said, dog walked around the park by the Detroit Lions in embarrassing fashion. I mean, literally, the Ravens' only win is at home against Cleveland, coming off a win. Like,
yeah,
you look at it, you don't know what this Ravens team is. Having said that, I think I know what this Chiefs team is this year, and it's not great. I mean, was there anything you saw in that Sunday night game against the Giants that, like, jumped off the page at you? It's like, wow, the Chiefs are back.
No,
not for me.
No, not that they're back, but the one thing I'll say, Steve Spagnuolo, that defense, like, they seem to be true to form. Like, we know what they're going to do. There's nothing new they haven't changed anything per se, but to me, like, what last week told me was that it still works. Even the game against Philly, I would say, like, after their defense got, like, embarrassed in the Super Bowl, a lot of the adjustments he made for the week 2 game did seem like it came through. Or the Eagles offense just was not up, like, they were not up to speed yet, and they're still learning. Like, I mean, there's a couple ways you can look at it, but that's my one takeaway with the Chiefs is that I think their defense is still something you got to consider.
Yeah. So here's my pick for this game. Baltimore, I guess. I feel like Baltimore is the better team and should win. But having said that, I have seen Kansas City in this same spot having no reason on paper why they should win the game. I've seen them win so many times. There's a reason why, like, this is, I think I may have thrown like a 5 burger on it just to, like, make it interesting just for watching purposes. But, I'm not running to bet against the Chiefs at home as dogs because we've seen them win in this spot so many times.
Well, you're not running to the ticket counter. But I am going to the Chiefs money line as a home dog. This is my dog of the week. The Kansas City Chiefs, plus 125. Look, this primarily does have to do with the Ravens coming off that Monday Night Football loss. Where teams this year 0-3 straight up in ATS in that spot. Kansas City is actually really bad as a home dog lately, believe it or not. They're 2-4 straight up in ATS. And the Ravens are coming off of a loss, which is actually like one of the best trends to back since Lamar won his first MVP. Ravens, since 2019, 21-10-1 ATS off a loss. But this is the Chiefs. It's like him and Josh Allen for some reason. Like, the Chiefs are just like, it's like That's their crucible. That's their cross to bear. And he just finds ways to choke against this team. Lamar's 1-4 straight up against the Chiefs in his career. He's 0-3 in Arrowhead. And for what it's worth, like, I know the Chiefs offense is a concern, but like you said in the beginning, the Ravens defense cannot stop anybody. They cannot stop a nosebleed. And I think this is like a Chiefs offense wake-up call where, like, you are getting the shittiest version of the Ravens defense. And the Ravens are 31st in points given up. They're 32nd in yards allowed. They've given up a league-high 12 touchdowns on the year already. And they have not fared as road favorites against the AFC. In their last 6, 2-4 straight up in ATS. So I just think with where the odds are, where the points are, I don't know. I like Andy Reid over John Harbaugh. I like Mahomes, barely like Mahomes over Lamar, not by much, but I think both teams' backs are against the wall. Ravens are getting short rest, especially after getting dog walked at home. I know they're going to come in pissed, but this is the spot we see Mahomes pull it together and he gets a win. And then you get the press conference. I don't know if the refs will interfere. I sure hope not, but we've seen this before. We've seen it 1,000 times. These are the games that Mahomes pulls away and gets a win. And you look back and you either say, wow, what a shit call. That was where the game turned. And sometimes we also look back and say, wow, there's good old Lamar throwing 2 more picks and getting sacked 5 more. I mean, how many times did the Lions sack him last week? This Chiefs D-line is just as competitive, if you ask me. I could see Lamar having struggles early, and for me, this is a Chiefs. If I don't play the Chiefs now, I don't know when I will.
I gotta say, you might. We'll see if I still have the Chiefs on the contest when this game starts. The more I look at this game, it's like everything stat-wise tells me the Ravens are a better team. They're more highly ranked. Their offense is better. Their defense, it doesn't need to be great against the Chiefs. It just needs to maybe get a couple stops. And then it's the more I think about just you could see it narratively. The Chiefs are back. They righted the ship. Andy Reid does it again. Patrick Mahomes does it again. God, I could just see the Chiefs winning this game now.
Oh, and by the way, my prop for the week, give me the Kelsey receiving yards ladder. The Ravens are notoriously bad against the tight end this year. I want to say it's them it's either them or the Panthers, but again, Ravens are bad already. Guess where the plus money starts, guy on the right, in terms of yards. Throw a number.
40.
40 is minus 122.
Oh, so almost there. 50. What do we got?
50 is plus 146.
Oh, geez.
60 plus 235. 70 plus 370. 80 5-1. Almost 6-1. Kelsey to get 90 yards is 8.5-1.
Love it, because these are the types of games, if he has anything in the tank, this is where he's going to show up in a game like this.
Yeah,
boy, it's a massive game for these teams.
Oh, look at this. His average against Baltimore is 78.
Yeah.
Besides last year's early game, they did play earlier in the year.
God, this is a massive game. The Bills and Chargers are probably going to be 4-0 after this week. The loser of this game, putting aside potential for making the playoffs or whatever, you're going to be 3 games behind. You're looking at, especially the Ravens, if they lose this game, a team that was projected potentially to, be one of the top teams. They may be staring 3-4 seed in the face. This is crazy. What's happening?
I don't know, man. I'll give you this pick, and I'm gonna wait. But this is my sharp mind thinking. If the Ravens do lose, I'm gonna take the money I would have bet on them this week, and I'm going to throw it on their future to win the division. Because they're going to be, and it's, oh God, please let the Steelers, please let me be wrong about the Steelers. If they win and then the Ravens lose against the Chiefs, the Ravens will be a 1-3 team tied with Cleveland. The Bengals.
Imagine if Cincinnati finds a way to win too. Oh man.
Well, we're not going to talk about that yet, but 2-1 for the Bengals. They will be basically a game behind, but at 1-3. I would love to see what the odds are for Ravens to win the division, Ravens to win the AFC, or to make it to the conference game. I bet the number will be juiced, and I will hit it. Because
I can tell you, you're exactly right there. If they lose this game, their stock is going to plummet. Absolutely plummet. Because everyone will overreact. And I think the Ravens will still win the division. I think they'll find it once they start their schedule evens out. I mean, they played, the Bills and the Bills and Lions, probably 2 top 10 teams already. So it hasn't been easy.
Yeah. All right. Unfortunately, we got to move on to the other shit game of the week contender. Maybe we can fly by this one quick. The Las Vegas Raiders are hosting the Chicago Bears. Non-conference road dog once again for Caleb Williams. 100 on the money line, minus 120 for the Raiders at Allegiant Stadium. Over-under is 48. Yeah, I don't have way too much on this game. This is my thinking. Ready? Here we go. The Raiders, I guess. The public splits are all over Chicago as a non-conference road dog. And, I mean, look, if it was most NFL teams, I would get it. Chicago, 80% of the money, 76% of the slips. Any other team, I'd be like, this is asinine, but it's the Raiders, so I get it. But am I really supposed to bet on the... First of all, am I supposed to bet on Caleb Williams on the road? He's 1-8 straight up in his career. Doesn't sound like a good bet. Am I supposed to bet on the Raiders? 4-12 against the NFC since 2023. That doesn't sound like a good bet either. What about Raiders at home against the NFC? Well, 4-8 straight up, still not good. What about? Well, hold on. They have a new quarterback. It's Geno Smith. He's supposed to be an improvement. Well, he's 1-6 in his last 7 against the NFC opponents. I don't know. This is a weird. I think this will be shit game of the week, but this, oddly enough, could be one of the better games we see. Primarily because of how bad I think they both could be. Am I supposed to care? No. Do I really want to bet this game? No. So you know what? I'm not going to bet this game. See how easy it is for some people? Unlike, if this is a game where you're looking at it and you're like, wow, I really have to bet this game. I need to run to the counter. I have to throw half my paycheck on this shit game. 1-800-GAMBLERS, gamblersanonymous.com. All right, I'm not shitting. I don't think the Bears are any good. The Raiders aren't either, but I can't bet on Caleb in this spot. The Raiders, I guess, are my play.
This is actually, crazy enough, was one of my favorite games for props, just because Trey Tucker, he had over 100 yards receiving last week. He has about 8 targets a game. I know, I have him in fantasy. They had him lined at 40 receiving yards in this game. And I'm like, Geno Smith's probably going to throw for 260 in this game. The Bears defense sucks. Don't be fooled last week. They got lucky. CeeDee Lamb went down, and the Cowboys had no idea what to do after CeeDee Lamb went down. The Raiders are going to score points in this game. The problem is the Bears are going to score points in this game, but don't worry. All the Bears receivers are lined just about at their season average, and the Raiders defense sucks. They let Marcus Mariota go. This is an over. You should be pounding the over in this spot because this is going to be a shootout. And I think the reason why I teased the Raiders is I think I was getting them. I think I was getting them at 1.5. They were actually underdogs when I had looked. I think depending on the site, it's kind of gone back and forth. I'd play the Raiders plus money just because, like you said, oh wow, the Bears won a game. Yay for them. They beat the Cowboys, who have no defense, and their star wide receiver got hurt on the first play. I
But you
think
know
the
what?
Raiders.
But Jerry
gonna-
Jones saved 30% or more in his car insurance by switching to Geico and, I don't know, not signing Micah Parsons.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. We're going to get to that game.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. So,
You ready to get to it now? Let's get to it now.
yeah, why don't we get to that now? We're done. Over. Good. Let's get to this game.
By the way, I'm on you with those Trey Tucker stats. Dallas Cowboys, Sunday Night Football, catching 6.5 at home, plus 275. Hosting the Green Bay Packers, who are coming off that tough loss against the Browns, minus 6.5, minus 350. Over under is 46.5. Mansman, we're here. We're talking about the Cowboys. Okay, here we go. I'll give you a real handicap this time. Green Bay is 11-1 against the Dallas Cowboys going back to 2009. They're in back-to-back road spots where teams have not been great this year. But I don't know if I'm just going to fade the Packers again, knowing that CeeDee Lamb is probably out this week. And the fact that this number dropped, I thought this was a 7.5 line when it opened. It's down to 6.5. So, why there's sharp money on this Cowboys team is fucking weird to me. It's weird considering the spot that Green Bay is coming into. Green Bay's really good in Sunday Night Football. They're 37-19 all time. They're 10-3 straight up since 2020 with Coach LaFleur. And Jordan Love's 3-1 on Sunday Night Football. And you go back and look at Dallas on the flip side. They're a 500 team. They're 7-6 since 2020. They're 3-2 at home. But they beat a Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. They did beat the Eagles. And they beat the Colts that were led by Matt Ryan and Taylor Heineke, Kyle Allen led Commanders. They're not this is not a great spot that one would think. And now Dak has lost his number one receiver. Although he does have a running back now, I just wonder, is this the Packers revenge spot where they just got embarrassed in Cleveland and now everyone's wow, Green Bay's mind you, I was one of those people that said, I don't think Green Bay's offense is that good. I think Cleveland's defense at home is a lot better. I think they'll perform and show up. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. But I think at the same time, I look at this Dallas defense, and they're not impressive either. I really haven't seen shit for them to make me really want to back them as 6.5 point home dogs. I would like this more at 7.5, but we'll see if I get there. I don't know. The Barneys tend to bet the Cowboys down, so maybe I'll go the opposite way and hit Green Bay if it gets to 5.5. But I don't know if this line will move. So I guess Green Bay, but only because I think the spot fits them better than I really think it would fit them with Dallas.
Yeah, so I didn't have many dogs that I liked this week, which is why I haven't given out a dog of the week. I guess you could say really Tampa, kind of my dog fade of the week. Maybe you sort of put them together. Because the dogs I bet on were kind of wishy-washy. I didn't really feel great except about Tampa. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give out a co-best bet. Co-best bet, Packers minus 6.5. Punishment time is coming. This is the get-right spot for the Packers offense coming off that loss in Cleveland. And this is going to be punishment time for Dallas's offense without CeeDee Lamb because Micah Parsons is coming for revenge. The Packers defense is going to – literally this is going to be – sometimes in life, big bucks, there's an accounting. Karma's real. There's an accounting. You reap what you sow. Jerry Jones is going to get to sit there and watch the Green Bay Packers flex on his team and probably win by 40. I mean, they're going to – that defense is going to maul the shit out of Dallas. And I think the Packers offense, it's full speed ahead for the Packers offense. I think they are going to – this is going to be their get-right game because the Dallas defense is terrible. Like you said, I don't know why this is under a touchdown. I think it was one of those things where everyone was super high on Green Bay right away. They were the best team ever. And then they had the loss that a lot of the sharps were predicting a letdown. they had a funky loss. And I think what happens is a lot of people, they jump on the ship quick, they jump off the ship quick. And I think really this is one where they jumped off the ship too quick. Packers are going to steamroll Dallas. It's going to be a Sunday Night Massacre in Jerry World.
Fair enough. And I will say, though, like real quick, dogs have been covering on Sunday Night Football. I want to say, like the Bills and the Falcons, weeks 1 and 2. Week 3 was kind of the trend where Kansas City flipped it. So we'll see if that continues. But yeah, I like I said, I think Micah Parsons coming from revenge. That's going to be a good angle. I think the Packers. I mean, to be fair though, the Packers did lose, but it wasn't from their defense. They lost it because Jordan Love also couldn't throw the ball 3 or 4 yards downfield without, running into problems. So I don't know. With extra time, I think they'll get it in sync, and they should. Yeah. They should get this covered.
I would say, if anything, I think it's possible that Dallas contains Josh Jacobs in this game. I think Jordan Love's going to have a game because this is the get right spot for. This is the get right spot for him in the passing game. So. Yeah.
Yep.
Big Packers then.
Got it. And I think we both are on the over in that game or I had the under 46.5. Only because I like you said, I don't know what the hell Dallas is going to do on offense. That's my main concern, but I may flip that. I think I might go with you and hit the over on that. The more you talk about it, the more I'm like, God, he might be right.
I have a feeling now we're going to have one short handicap, one long one.
Yeah. Monday Night Football, doubleheader. I don't know why they do this. I'm not a fan, but we'll go to the doubleheader.
To hide one of these games from having to be watched.
This is the game that I think they're trying to hide, but I could be wrong. Maybe this is the game people want to watch. Hard Rock Stadium, Miami, Florida, Monday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's the Dolphins from Miami, hosting the New Jersey Jetropolitans, a.k.a. the goddamn Jets. Dolphins -3 at +100. Jets are catching 3 at -120, +125 on the money line, -150 for the Dolphins. Over-under is 44.5. And for 7 o'clock, Monday Night Football, this is what the NFL has to say.
Fuck you, Dolphin!
Fuck.
2 primetime games for the 0-3 Dolphins.
In 4 weeks.
Just what we all wanted to see.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you why. Look, flowcharts.
I think it's my turn, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Do I have to?
No.
Yeah. You mentioned flowchart. Here's my handicap for this game. The Jets have not beaten the Dolphins in ever. That's my flowchart. Dolphins own the Jets. Dolphins actually put up some life. They're coming off a long break. They're in Miami. Jets played well last week. They got their moral victory. I think Justin Fields is going to be back, coming off of throwing 5 yards. I think he's going to be back this week. I may be wrong about that. Justin Fields comes back. He threw for 5 yards the last time we saw him against Buffalo. If it's Tyrod Taylor, we know what he is. I don't have much on this one. It's short. Give me the Dolphins. They always win in this spot. Give me the Dolphins.
Here's my handicap. Over 44.5 as my over of the week. Miami's in pure desperation mode. Miami's defense and the Jets defense, they've given up at least 29 points or more to opponents this year. The over's hit in 5 of the last 7 matchups between these two teams, so that's my play. Because otherwise, I really, really would love to bet the Dolphins. Dolphins and an overplay might be in the works for a unit just to fucking see. But, otherwise, not really much to go off of. Other than the betting on a division road dog, not really good. 1-10 straight up. And I think if I'm going to bet the Jets, I'm going to bet them to win. I think at 3 or less, you're probably losing anyways. So I want no interest. I have no interest in the Jets. Love the over. I think this could be a shootout. I could see this being a Tua versus Justin Fields matchup that people were looking for years ago, but I have no faith in the Jets here. I have no, like, literally, they were dancing on the sideline with 2 minutes to go with Baker Mayfield coming. Like, any other fucking coach would have been, like, prepping and been like, okay, let's draft up a scheme. He's over there dancing. I'm not going to back that coach. And I also think, like, Mike McDaniel, back against the wall, hottest seat in the NFL right now. Like, he loses this, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. If they,
he loses to the Jets, he's gone. I think we'll get one more week of Mike McDaniel after this. Final game.
The Denver Broncos.
Yeah, it's time. Broncos, Monday Night Football, 8:15 in Power Field at Mile High, Denver, Colorado. -7.5 for the Broncos, +7.5 for the Cincinnati Bengals, who are 2-1. 3.5-point road dogs, -450 for the Broncos. Over-under is 44. Yeah, here we go. Denver, 7-0 straight up as a home favorite. 6-1 ATS since 2024. Under coach Sean Payton, they're 11-4 straight up, 9-6 ATS as home favorites. And I know the Bengals are 2-1. They barely beat a Cleveland Browns team with Joe Burrow. They didn't cover. They had to come back against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and because the Jags suck, they did win and cover. They got mollywopped by Carson Wentz. Now you got to go to Denver. Back-to-back. I think this is another back-to-back road spot team.
Mm-hmm.
Which is bad. Like, this is the thing about the Broncos. They give up a fuck ton of field goals. They give up a fuck ton of yards. They only given up 4 touchdowns on the year. So they're literally like the definition of bend but don't break. Keep it close and competitive. Denver's like middle of the pack defense and yards allowed, but I just don't see a path where Jake Browning finds as much success as he did against the Jags. If anything, I think the Broncos defense might be like comparable to what he went up against the Vikings with. And the Bengals, by the way, the Bengals as a Monday Night Football road team, come to find out, really, really bad spot. 5-20 all time in their franchise history. The Bengals as road underdogs since 2023. They're 2-7. And that's talking about them winning. But, like, well, who's going to cover? I want to say Denver. The 7.5 line is a bit fishy, and I think the line hasn't moved up or down because I think sharp bettors will hammer it. I think if it jumps to 8.5, they're going to hit Cincinnati. I think if it goes down to 6.5, they're going to hammer Denver. Denver, like I said, they're 6-1 ATS as home favorites. That's the sharp handicap. As a fan, if we don't fucking win, Sean Payton needs to go. Like, he's officially the biggest phony. He robbed us. Okay, I can't say he robbed us harder than Russell Wilson, but he'll be up there. If Denver does not beat the Bengals, there's going to be a lot of hard questions. Because he's supposed to make Bo Nix a good quarterback. He's supposed to. He put all his marbles in on this guy, and if he's not good, boy, oh boy, there's going to be a lot of hard questions that we are going to have to ask. But, Mansman, I'm done. I'm not. I didn't get too mad, but
yeah, good for you. Good for you. I'll try and keep it brief. We're almost to 2 hours. This one hurts me because I had it so planned out perfectly. Denver was going to lose. The Bengals were going to either be competitive in Minnesota or win. The line was going to be, 4 points, 4.5 points in Denver's favor. This was going to be the ultimate smash spot because Denver was desperate. Of course, Cincinnati had to lay a complete dud, show how worthless they really are. Now it's 7.5. It probably should be 7.5. And I think you still got to bet Denver because Denver's desperate. And I saw Cincinnati. First off, Browning, I think, is thrown like 5 interceptions now in 2 games. Not good. And I saw some real quit from that Cincy team. I saw some real quit. I saw a defense that is useless. Offense, they can't hold on to the ball. Denver needs this game like blood. I don't like the number, but this is one. It's Denver or nothing, and I think Denver is going to the home fans in particular, the fact that this is going to be in Denver, it's going to be rowdy. They're going to be desperate. They lose here. Denver's 1-3. Chargers 4-0. If the Chiefs win, they're going to be 2-2. All of a sudden, you look at Denver, it's going to be late early. This is a game they need to win, and I think they're going to find a way to get it done. I think they have to get it done. We know Sean Payton struggles early in the year as well, so that's another thing to keep in mind. So I think Denver might get better as the year goes on, but this is a big game. They need to win, and I think they'll do it.
This was another contender for over of the week, only because it's like you said, I think this is going to be Denver all over the place. Denver scoring, but their defense, like I said, their bend don't break. I think they give up enough points to where I think the Bengals will kind of hang in there. Like they're going to be like in the back thought, like they're going to like keep it moving. Like I feel like this is going to be a game where like you're not going to see quit, but you're going to see struggles. Denver, once they get to a big lead, we've seen it with the Chargers, we've seen it with the Colts. Like they're going to get a lead, and then they're going to try and play to win the game. They're not going to try to play to blow them out. They're going to try and play just to keep it as a win, which to my argument, that's been one of their biggest deficits. They try to win. They don't try to blow it out. They don't do what Dan Campbell does. And that's the difference. That's what makes him great. He puts statement games out there.
That would be my one fear with Denver in this game. I feel like they need to win the game so badly. I could see them getting up 10, getting conservative and trying to, especially if Cincinnati's offense has been struggling, I could see them playing conservative at the end. Couldn't see that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all 15 games. We'll go over our best bets one more time. We'll see if we can make another court parlay. Mansman, give out your best bets of the week. I know you had 2 double best bets. So
sure. Yeah. So I'll start my fade dog of the week, Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 3.5. My best bet, the Barney Bester, Detroit Lions minus whatever, 10, whatever you can get. Finally, my co-best bet, I'm keeping it in the NFC North. Packers revenge spot. Packers minus 6.5.
very well. All right. My best bets of the week. My favorite best bet of the week. Give me the LA Rams minus 3.5 hosting the Indianapolis Colts. My dog of the week. Give me the Chiefs plus 125. Give me my fade of the week. We are fading the Houston Texans lane 7. We're taking the Titans plus 7. Could be bad. Over of the week, I'm going over 44.5 with the Jets Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football. Under of the week is the Falcons Washington at under 43. Monty Mansman, notes that I have taken that bets we like. So we have that 3-legger that I'm going to try to throw out here in the meantime, but I'll read it out to you. It's Lions minus 10, Flacco under 222.5, over 44.5 game total points.
Oh, God. I love that, too, because it's like reverse correlated with the over. So we might get a little better odds, actually.
Well, I mean, I'm going to check in honor of your gambling lesson earlier. We're going to throw it in to that app. 4.5 to 1 for those 3 legs already. Other games we liked that I jotted down. There's 5 other lines. Minnesota minus 2.5. Titans plus 7, which I think I could be wrong. Chargers minus 6.5. And then I just wrote down Trey Tucker stats and then over 47.5 for the Chargers, for the Raiders Browns game.
Tennessee's plus 7.5 on that at minus 122 now.
We'll throw that in.
Detroit's actually minus 9.5 on that app.
Love it. Chargers are still 6.5.
Minus 6.5, minus 106. A little better.
And then, do you want Trey Tucker catches or yards?
He had over 100 last week. I think he could have a couple big games against this defense. Let's see what he is if they wisened up yet.
So yards.
And this app, he's a little higher. He's 45.5, which against this defense is still. What is he for catches?
3.5.
Probably yards. I like better.
Okay. All right. So we got to sit. Do you want to throw in? I could do without the Raiders, but I'm open to suggestion.
We could leave them. We could leave them out.
Okay. And then
What's the total I'm looking at so far?
all right, so Lions minus 9.5, over 44.5, Flacco under 225.5, Titans plus 7.5, Chargers minus 6.5, Trey Tucker over 45.5 receiving yards. We're at 36-1.
Jeez. Ooh, okay. Pretty good.
10 wins you 361.
Was there anything else we liked?
Um,
Didn't we like the Rams too?
we like the over in the Chicago Raiders game, I think.
We didn't both like the Rams. I thought
No,
we both
we like yeah, they were my best bet. We like the Rams.
Did we throw them in yet?
We did not.
Yeah, throw them in.
71-1.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, we're ready.
And then we could throw in Green Bay if we want to get cute. Because I do like Green Bay.
Yeah, me too. What if you throw Green Bay? Oh my god.
135-1. That's an 8-legger.
Oh, you're putting it in dealer's choice. You want to throw Green Bay in too?
Why not?
What is 135 to what? Jesus Christ.
God, that
Okay. Well, that could be a hell of a Sunday.
could be. Yeah, Green Bay minus 6.5.
Put a dent in our
yeah,
what we were talking about out there. That's for sure.
That'll put a dent, all right. That's for damn sure. And then LA Rams minus 3. So yeah, we actually have we have 5 teams we really like. So I would say we could let me I guess I could try throwing it in real quick, but for contest plays, like just to give out a contest, like advice for everybody. These would probably be our 5 as like this is what we all agreed on. Minnesota 2.5, Titans plus 7, Chargers 6.5, Green Bay 6.5, Rams 3.5. I think that's pretty damn solid. I think that could be good. Survivor play. What's your survivor play? Because we're both still alive.
Yeah. Well, I think you should know. I'm going with my Barney Bester. That's going to be my survivor.
Remind us again, your Barney Bester.
Detroit at home against Cleveland.
I'm tailing you on that one as well for week 4. I am also going with Detroit.
So we'll either both be in or both be out.
Yep. And then I do have a round robin, but I don't advise. I'm not even going to throw it out there for a line. But round robin, we're going to go Titans, Commanders, Panthers, Chiefs, Raiders. Your underdog round robin.
Oh, there we go. Okay. It's got a chance, buddy. Got a chance.
All right. I got nothing left. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back for week 5. As you guys haven't noticed, we have skipped the Thursday night football games. We'll see what we can get working on that for the future, but just been busy. We're down to 1 day a week, so we're just doing the Sunday and Monday games.
Yep.
But,
all right, buddy. We're out. Go win that motherfucking money.
Absolutely. Thank you, DeGents. You have a good night. Be safe. And as we always say, go win and make that motherfucking money. Have a good night.